Heeding Prophecy. Hi, welcome back to another one of our Director's Cuts at Regal Heights. This is an overflow of the message on Sunday. So this will make more sense if you watched the church message on Sunday. So for the next few minutes, I want to talk to you about what it means to heed prophecy. You know, I've been teaching quite a lot about this, how this works in the book of Daniel, and how the false prophets led Israel into decline and then eventually into exile. But we need to be able to discern who the right ones are. On Monday, we learned that all prophets are right, eventually right. Once they have time constraints on something, it needs to come true. The true prophet is someone that is never wrong, not just someone that is often right. And as we continue on, Jeremiah is just before the book of Daniel, and he prophesies in the generation before Daniel. And with that, he prophesies that there is going to be 70 years of captivity. As we learned in Daniel, Daniel's the one that experienced that by being taken into captivity. And many of the people didn't like his prophecies because they thought, how can you dare prophesy against this place? This is God's temple. This is God's holy city. How dare you? And then yet there was other prophets that were prophesying what everybody wanted to hear. Don't worry about it. This is all going to be over soon. Nebuchadnezzar's not going to be a problem. And we can get back to our old life. Well, the problem was their old life was idolatrous and they had gotten off the rails of their faith. And so Jeremiah was prophesying and he had everybody against him. He was persecuted time and time again. But then one faithful moment, there was some older people there who had experience with prophecy. And so some of the elders of the land got up, and we can learn in Jeremiah chapter 26, some of the elders of the land stepped forward and said to the entire assembly of people, Micah of Moresheth prophesied in the days of Hezekiah, king of Judah. He told all the people of Judah, this is what the Lord Almighty says. Zion will be plowed like a field. Jerusalem will become a heap of rubble. The temple hill a mound of overgrown with thickets. Did Hezekiah, king of Judah, or anyone else in Judah put him to death? Did not Hezekiah fear the Lord and seek his favor? And did not the Lord relent, so they did not bring disaster on that he pronounced against them? We are about to bring a terrible disaster on ourselves. The long and the short of it is, the elders that were amongst them were able to tell the difference of the ones just tickling ears and that Jeremiah was a true prophet because the things he had prophesied had come true in the past, and that if we were faithful people, that this wouldn't happen again, just as what happened about 120 years earlier with Hezekiah when the Assyrians that we had learned on Sunday, the Assyrians attacked and almost took over the land of Judah the same time they took over Israel. But God stepped in because the people in Judah listened to the prophets. The people in Israel did not. Unfortunately, these elders were not listened to widely, and the destruction happened anyway. And so this reminds me of the New Testament. This is why I say the false prophecy in the Old Testament is connected to the end times even. If you recall, after the resurrection, the disciples are getting persecuted by the religious elite. Very similar to Jeremiah. It was the officials that were coming after Jeremiah. And so there was an elder, a wise elder amongst their midst that said, don't put these disciples to death. He said, because if they are not of God, it'll just fizzle out. So why bring bloodshed on yourself for something that's just going to fizzle out? And then he also says, if this is from God and you are persecuting them, then you're fighting God. So he recommended just leave them alone and let it go. If it's for God, great. If it's not, it'll fizzle out. And so in the same way as we look to seeing how that was so similar to Jeremiah 26 and how those elders stood up, let's pay attention to those who have a working knowledge of prophecy and of how God works in people's lives so that we can make sure that we are on the right track. Some of these themes will overlap again when we get near the end and are dealing with the Antichrist and with other end time events, if we so happen to be the generation that is the last one. Well, anyway, thank you for tuning in to our Director's Cuts. We pray that you are growing in your faith, you are understanding the nature of God speaking to you and leading you into his everlasting promises. God bless you. Have a great day.